I am not a doctor, I'm not a personal trainer, I do have a degree in biochemistry, but I'm not here to preach to you about what you should or shouldn't be eating. I'm going to tell you what I eat, how I eat it, how I structure my day, how I look at macro and micronutrients to ensure that I can perform at an optimal level. If you want to perform at that kind of level, diet, your health, fitness is going to be a massive part of what makes you successful, right? Real top performers do it in every element of their life. You can't be an incredibly good business person, but then not eat healthy and not go to the gym, right? You can't be an incredible marathon runner and not have the diet to support it. You know, these things work in tandem. You know, you cannot have one without the other. Now, you could argue, oh, there's loads of business people who are in bad shape and yeah, but I bet you could be better than them. If you had, you know, what they have, if you had their growth, but you had health on the side of it, I think you'd have a bit of a superhero power trick up your sleeve, right? That they don't have, right? Everything has caveats, right? So let's focus on what and why it's important. So look, food is fuel, yeah? Simple as that. What you put in your body is going to, in some way, shape or form, have an output in your muscle mass, in your body fat, in how you feel, in your skin, in how high your blood pressure is, how low your heart rate is, and your salt level. Everything is going to have an effect on your behavior and your mental health. And both of these things are pretty important when you're in business, right? Everything that you are fueling your body with is going to impact your performance. And if you're one of those, oh, I need my bulletproof coffee, I need my athletic greens. Some of you are trying to get that extra 2 or 3%, right? Why don't you just shut up, eat fruit and veg, eat enough fiber and exercise? Like some of you want that 10%, yeah, on top of, but you're starting at 0. So you'll only have 10%. When you could get the 90% by implementing these simple things. Everyone looks for that hack. Oh, I'm too busy to eat fruit. You know, we're evolved to eat whole foods, to chew, to digest. The way you absorb nutrients in athletic greens and in powder and tablet forms is different. Makes sense. That's what we've evolved to do over how many years. It's very different from when you eat it yourself. Your body processes sugar differently depending on what form it is. It processes fruit differently if you're chewing and biting the fruit or if it's in a powdered form. I don't think humans, we've had powdered, fucking fruit and veg for thousands of years, and people in the past arguably were a lot healthier in the way further past than we are now. So why is there always this shortcut and this, oh, let me just take it in a pill, let me drink Huel. I had Huel the other day, first time, thanks Tyler, I stole it from his fridge, and it was really tasty. They haven't got that protein shaky, fake sugar sucralose flavor. They have a little bit, but it's actually quite nice. And yeah, lots of calories, good meal replacement, nice thick texture because of the gum they put in it. But would I have it? No. Would I have it in an absolute emergency? I had nothing else. I just needed to? Yes. But how often does that happen? Never. And it's better that I plan and make my schedule so, my routine so that I don't have those kind of emergencies. Hey, maybe that's my lifestyle. Maybe it's different if you work on an oil rig, or you're a doctor, right? And you literally have 10 minutes to get something healthy inside you. I understand in that kind of scenario, but we're talking about entrepreneurs, right? So food is fuel. Eating bad things, putting bad fuel into a car is only going to damage the engine. And it may not happen instantly. I mean, sometimes it will. You put diesel in a petrol car, you find out. You eat something that your body really doesn't like, you will find out. And it's not fun. Now, people get so focused on the macronutrients, right? Protein, fat, and carbs. All I'm going to say is, for me, none of them are the enemy. They all benefit me in various different ways. They all have different biochemical benefits. I don't avoid one more than the other necessarily. I do have a much higher protein, probably than carbs and probably than fat. It probably goes protein, fat, carbs. And in what I actually like to eat, it's probably fat, carbs, and then protein somewhere there. But that works for me. Having a high protein diet matches my lifestyle, it matches my activity level, it matches my goals. And it's tasty, and it's not cheap, it really isn't cheap. You just see what I eat for breakfast every day. And I do bake my own bread as well. So generally the main carb I eat is my 100%, sometimes I mix it up, wholemeal bread that I've made. So it's got 4 or 5 ingredients in? flour, water, yeast, salt, a little bit of brown sugar. 5 ingredients. And sometimes I mix the flours around. That was a COVID habit that actually has done really well, because my bread is so good. Like, I could just eat a whole loaf. Yeah. And, people again get stuck up on micronutrients. Oh, I haven't got enough selenium. The things on my nails are coming out. Oh, I haven't got enough zinc. You know what? Guys, what you really need is magnesium. Yeah, so studies have shown, I have no references for the studies, but studies have shown that if you take magnesium, oh my God, totally transformed my sleep. Look at my skin. Ugh. How much are you getting paid, sis, to do that advert? Like, do a Medichex blood test. I think I paid 250 quid a year to do them. It tells you all your biomarkers. It tells you which, micronutrients that you're not getting enough of, which you might have too much of, your hormone levels. It's incredible. So do that. And then if you're low on certain levels, like for me and for a lot of brown and black people in the UK, it will be low vitamin D. Because no fucking sun. And our skin protects us from the sun. And so we have to have more time in the sun to get that vitamin D, to get past the barriers, the melanin barriers. So I know, okay, I need vitamin D. Maybe I need a bit of iron. Okay, but all my other levels were, there or thereabouts. And there's other, types of tests and things you can do as well. But if your blood is showing that you're cool, then you're cool. You don't need to superdose this or have extra of this. And that's what works for me. I take omega-3 because, again, the levels can be a bit low. That also has vitamin D in it, so kind of does it all at once. But, like, what works for me is not taking a multivitamin supplement. It's eating 5 to 7 fruit and veg a day. Oh my God, fruit has sugar in. Yes. But it's okay to have fucking Domino's pizza, which has how many grams of sugar on it or whatever. But anyways, and fiber is super, super important. I always talk about this, but having, again, fruit and veg, having the wholemeal bread, leafy stuff, other kind of whole grain carbs, beans, legumes, dal, lentils, whatever. For me, that helps massively. And I know what things don't go well and don't sit well with my stomach. I've kind of learned, especially because I have IBS as well, which could also be mental, right? It's also thought of as like, it's not just a physical thing or physical reaction. And I've got another video talking about like kind of gut stuff and health and entrepreneurship. But, don't get hung up on like, just do a Medichex test. And then you can decide what you need to have, right? I'm not sponsored by them. They can sponsor me if they want, but just do the test and see what the levels are. Like, because otherwise you're just guessing. Like, oh, the doctor said if my nails grow an inch in a year, that mean, like, come on. There's so many witch doctors out there. Like, so many people who mention studies but don't actually reference them. It is really hard to know who to listen to. And this is why I'm kind of saying, look, this is my experience. This is what I think. This is what I do. Bleh. Hydration. There's some research, something, I don't know where from. Look at me quoting studies I don't know. But you can Google it and you'll find it that, even small drops in hydration can have a big effect on your focus and productivity, because we are a massive percentage of water. All of our cells, everything is based on water, right? I probably have 2 to 3 liters a day, depending on activity, cardio, heat, gym, activity levels, etc., etc. You'll know what level is right for you, but obviously you can Google it. I'm sure there's some calculation for your body weight. But yeah, experts say, don't they, 2 liters or whatever, around that amount. But definitely keeping that up consistently throughout the day. And it's very easy to just get focused and not drink water. And just, I've been doing this for like an hour now, haven't even had a drink. And I'm this. Especially when you're out and about, like getting water, carry a bottle with you. Have one of those little Uniqlo bag things, fanny packs. Put a little water bottle in there. Just remembering to do that is so important. Now, when you're filming videos as well, flipping heck, your throat gets so dry. So it's super important as well when you're making content to stay hydrated, people. Honestly, being dehydrated is not a nice feeling, like being properly dehydrated. And when you're trying to focus, you want everything lubricated and flowing, and you just need the water in you. Now, meal timing, I spoke about it before, but I do intermittent fasting. So I eat breakfast at 11, 12. And then my last meal is like maximum 8 p.m. Ideally like 7 or a little bit earlier. So I do have a smaller eating window, which when I'm cutting, which I am now, trying to lose weight and getting more muscle, it's kind of easier because it compresses the calories. So you don't feel as hungry. And I'm so used to it. But when I'm trying to bulk, perhaps I might open that window a little bit, sort of on the front end. But I really find that intermittent fasting does help with like my IBS, and they say that, you know, when there's no food in your stomach, when you are fasted, that's when your body is cleansing, it's clearing, it's doing processes that it can do when, you know, there isn't other things to deal with, i.e. trying to digest food currently. And placebo or not, it feels that way. You know, I do feel better when I do these things. You might get gas, you might get some bloating at the kind of start, but again, look, totally up to you. Please speak to a healthcare professional before taking on any more fitness regimes. Who remembers Insanity with Shaun T? Yo, that shit used to injure me. Like, I don't know why. My calves just used to... Yeah, I haven't got calves like Alex Ramirez, but yeah. And I would also say, and look, I personally, if I skip breakfast, yeah, it's not a good look. I do not vibe well. I know some people who do skip breakfast. Some people just eat dinner. Some people eat lunch and dinner. It's whatever works for you based on the things you're trying to achieve as well. Like, remember, if you're not getting enough protein, you're not going to gain muscle mass. And if you're trying to lose weight, you're not eating enough protein, you're going to lose muscle mass, some more than you would if you weren't. So, you know, it has to be fit for your objective. And, you know, a lot of people snack. I feel a lot of people say, oh, I have problems with snacking, like this. I think because I eat such large meals, well, large in that they have a high protein content, which keeps you satiated for longer, and it prevents blood sugar level spikes, which, like sugar and carbs, can kind of cause more of. I just don't really snack. I think when I feel like snacking, I usually drink water and it kind of disappears. I'll have nuts, fruit, dates, that kind of thing. Usually for me is what helps me get past any kind of feeling of snacking. But I really have the feeling because, like, my breakfast in particular is very heavy protein. I've got salad in it, I've got all sorts of stuff. So, you know, for me, there are health things you can snack on: peanut butter, dark chocolate. I have like 85% dark chocolate. Yeah. Or you can have Haribo and these sugar-laden snacks. Other sweets are available. That will just cause your blood sugar level to go all over the place. So for me, healthy snacks, super important if I am going to snack. And sometimes I'll have protein bars, Grenade, Misfits, etc. They do have quite a few chemicals in them. I do prefer to have whole foods, but, you know, I'd rather have that than, you know, some salad from M&S that, like, has no protein in it. Like, it's just grains and feta. And I do like feta. And I think, you know, eating mindfully actually is quite... It's quite an interesting one. You know, they say you should be chewing 30 times or something per, like, mouthful. I don't think any of us do that. You know, I think that you should focus more on feeling the food, tasting the food, understanding the texture of it. Like you're on MasterChef, you know, like Greg Wallace. Hey, I love dessert, I do. You know, go on, mate. Yeah, that looks lovely. That was a bit too fishmongery, wasn't it? That one? Less Cockney, I think. And eating without distractions, sometimes eating without the TV, even eating without conversation sometimes. Just focusing on it can almost build a stronger connection between you and the food. But hey, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not, you know, going into this. And also with junk food, you know, I mean, well, I just don't really like junk food. I never liked that kind of stuff. But if I did, not having it out would be a first step, having it in a cupboard. You know, creating an environment where you don't crave it can start with removing the temptation. But obviously, if you know it's in the cupboard and you're weak-minded, you're going to go get it. Like, you know what I mean? And then eventually removing it at all from the house, because then you're like, oh, if I have to walk 15 minutes, I have to go to the shop, I have to do this, you know. And junk food isn't cheap. You know, I know fruit isn't cheap and veg isn't cheap, but like a carrot is 10p. Like, junk food is so expensive. So many calories in it. I guess you get what you're paying for. But, you know, you can also save money by eating healthily to an extent. You know, obviously carrots are 10p, but like blueberries are not. Blueberries are so expensive. But then there's so much in them. So look, people, for me, took you on a kind of bit of a randomized tour of my head there and my diet. But like, for me, it's so important, especially with IBS, to like manage what I'm eating. And I also see changes in my body in relation to the gym when I eat in a certain way or when my diet is in a certain way. And so when you see that, it makes it a lot easier to kind of maintain something, you know, maintain low calories, high calories, low fat, whatever it is. But your body does not make changes quickly, you know? You might make that cut now, today, right now. But you're not going to see it for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And that is tough. You know, like who wants to it's like smoking, right? When you smoke, right? So bad for you. But you don't really see the effects for like what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? You know, like the real effects? Otherwise, yeah, you're coughing, you're wheezing, you're not as fit. You don't see like cancer for a very long time usually, if ever, you know, or all the other effects, COPD, etc., etc. And so it's kind of like that, you know, it's so hard to see those changes. And I think the gym is an interesting one. I know we're talking about foods here, but on that point, in the gym, when you get a pump, you can kind of see what you're going to look like in a few weeks or a few months, right? And that's quite reinforcing. But with food, if I cut calories today, I'm not losing weight today. I'm not, you know? And so in a week, I might see like 2% drop, you know? And that's quite disheartening, and that's quite tough, which makes, you know, healthy eating and making changes in your life actually not as easy as it could be, because there is no kind of instant gratification and instant reward. But that's why you as an entrepreneur, this is even better for you, because we're so used to delaying gratification. We're so used to, you know, having to wait for success and having to reward ourselves. So people, I would love to know, I'd love to know a healthy eating habit that you follow or that you believe in or that's changed your life. So if you're on YouTube, leave a comment below, jump on Instagram, send me a DM. I won't think it's weird if you just say to me, I drink lemon ice water for 6 hours, and then like just send it to me, people. Something I can talk about on the podcast as well. And if you like this and you're on Spotify, scroll up to the top, hit 5 stars, leave a review. If you're on Apple, it's somewhere there, I don't know. I'm Team Android, sorry. You can tell by my photos on Instagram. And otherwise, any feedback, send me an Instagram DM or check out the link in this description. Because I have a feeling, you know what? I could be wrong, but I have a feeling that you are someone, if you watch this video to this point, who wants to change their life, who wants to change their business, who has a business idea, who has a business, wants to acquire a business like me. I acquired 3 businesses in 12 months, put no money in myself. Then maybe, just maybe, you want to click the link in the bio and see what I can do for you.